and welcome to Silverstone for the penultimate round of the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup. Last time at Anglesey we had some very good races. This weekend should be the same. Qualifying was done in the sunshine but low temperatures. The temperature's risen this afternoon. David May put it on pole position. David, you're fighting for the Masters Championship. You're on pole position. What's your mindset going into that first corner?
Try and keep in front. I know it's going to be very hard, but I've worked hard. I've had a pace all weekend. Everything's just come back to me. Local circuit for me, coming from Northampton. Yeah, let's hopefully I can bring it home.
Yeah. You make a bet to people in front of you in the championship for the Masters. Skeets and Flint are way back on their grid, so it's time for you to claw back some points.
Yes, I thought I'd lost the Masters, but obviously this result at the moment, and there's 4 points in it between us all, so everything to play for. So I'm hoping to retain my championship for this year as well.
Yeah, and you've got some very, very quick drivers behind you.
They're all quick, yeah. So it's, hopefully I'm a bit quicker.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Tom's sitting second and he's got to run into the first corner.
We'll do. I'll do my best, that's all I can do, but we'll see.
Good stuff.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, so with that, let's see how everybody here gets on, especially David May going into that first corner. Andy McEwan, it's over to you.
Thanks, Anthony. Looking forward to this one. A very, very close qualifying session sees David May snatch the pole position with Tom Griffiths alongside for race one. Luke Browse, with his season best qualifying efforts, is third alongside Ben Huntley. Then Rhys Claydon, likewise with a good showing. He's got his teammate Stephen Daly on the third row alongside him. Then Ollie Fowler and Keith Towers. Paul Maguire makes a welcome return with Matt Parks alongside him. And then further back, some interesting names. Ian Jones, all the way down in 15th place on the grid, despite being within 10 points of the championship lead. Will Davison is towards the back of the top 20 as well, and Mikey Doble is usually further up the order than that. He lines up 21st for our first race of the day. Rhys Claydon's father, Gareth, is 25th on the grid, with James Stanbury, another returnee, on the row behind him. Stuart Wright is just outside the top 30 on this enormous grid, the full grid of cars able to race together here at Silverstone on the national circuit, and they're rounded out by Guy Davis and Danny Wilkinson, who were excluded from qualifying, but should hopefully be able to start at the back of the grid. Well, this should be a fascinating 15 minutes of racing. The championship on a knife edge in both the outright and the Masters points. The Silverstone National Circuit, one that always produces good racing. The lights are out, we're away in racing for the first time here at Silverstone, and the rush towards Cobb's Corner begins with, on the inside line, Tom Griffiths just about getting his nose in front of David May, I think, and yes, Griffiths will snatch the lead away from the Masters contender. Huntley through into third. Stephen Daly with a good start as well from 6th on the grid is already challenging for 4th position on the inside of Luke Browse. That is a really important start for him as well, because his big title rival Ian Jones is a long way further back on the grid and has to make some progress. Into Beckett's we go for the first time, and Huntley goes second, but Daly's on the inside of David May as well, and is sideways as they go through the right-hander. Keith Towers is off the road, and that could, unfortunately, go a long way towards putting him out of Masters contention now. He arrived here 4th in the Masters points, 13 off the championship lead, but that has done him absolutely no good at all. He falls almost to the back of the pack now, which makes its way as one pretty much down towards Brooklands, with Griffiths getting away, and remarkably Stephen Daly and Rhys Claydon making it a KC Motorsport 2 and 3 at the moment, with Rhys Claydon having a real upturn in form this weekend. I don't quite know where he's found this extra pace, but he certainly has found it. He's into a podium place now, having started in 5th on the grid. So out of Luffield we go, and there's a car off, that's David May! Oh, David May spins, and amazingly is missed by everybody but David May. Well, that is not what we were hoping to see for the man that started from pole position, and that will put him towards the back of the field, well, probably right to the back of the field, and possibly, depending on where that car ended up, out of the race altogether. And David May could little afford that, because he was very much a part of that Masters Championship battle, but he may no longer be if he's out of the race. On board now with Ian Jones then, who is making decent progress, but not quite the progress he'd have hoped from 13th on the grid. In towards Beckett he goes on the outside line. They're going around the outside of Matt Flowers. Luke Browse has also plummeted down the order, unfortunately. But there, Tom Langford sort of holding station in about 15th place or so. Tim Scott Andrews was the man that narrowly avoided T-boning the out-of-control David May, who hopefully has been able to rejoin. I believe he has been able to rejoin, albeit a long way down the order. Has a real fight back on his hands now to try and get back into some serious point-scoring positions, otherwise this will become one of his drop scores, but he was sort of running out of drop scores really to have after a not brilliant early part of the season, or middle part of the season I should say, for David. 3 podiums in the first couple of meetings, but then after that things have sort of gone wrong. out of Luffield we go again, then onto another lap. And this is the sort of racing that the Silverstone National Circuit often does produce. Lots of very close slipstreaming battling, but because the circuit's so wide, you can see it there across the start-finish line. When you have a run in the toe, it's reasonably easy to pull out and make an overtaking attempt. It's not necessarily that easy to complete the manoeuvre, but you can at least get alongside, and that creates some fantastic racing throughout the pack. On board again with Ian Jones, who is enjoying some of this racing throughout the pack. And an incredibly closely bunched pack it is this weekend as well. In qualifying, the top 16 cars were covered by less than a second, and the next 10 were covered by the next second as well. So wherever you look in the field, there is not much to choose between each of the drivers. And Ian Jones is finding that out now as he gets into the back there of Doble Senior. Mike Doble there, the number 65 car, almost ended up going off the road there as Ian Jones had a run, but Mike moved over to the left-hand side to cover it. This, meanwhile, is the fight for third, with Rhys Claydon, Ben Huntley and Matt Parks absolutely together. Matt had a bit of an issue in testing earlier on this weekend, so he'll be quite glad, I think, to be inside the top 5 at this early stage of the race. Having started Matt Parks from 9th on the grid, he's gone forward rather than backwards, which is always the way you want your race to start. Back through Luffield again, and still Ian Jones has not been able to find a way past Mike Doble, who in fact was trying to gain a position himself there as they came out onto the pit straight once more. We are about to flash, and a long way back you will find Ian Jones. And there you can see in front of him Mike Doble is going up the inside of Wayne Flint, but Wayne will fight straight back on the exit of the corner. Now Wayne Flint is the man who is second in the Masters Championship, arriving here at Silverstone, just 1 point behind Mark Skeets. So Mark Skeets is really his big target in this race. And just up the road, lots of close racing going on there. Paul Maguire making a welcome return to the championship, but maybe not so welcome in the eyes of David Sharp, who he muscles out of the way rather. Now with Keith Towers then, who's chasing this gaggle of cars. Mike Doble, having failed to complete the manoeuvre on Wayne Flint, has lost sufficient momentum that Ian Jones has gone past him as well. So Jones has gained 1 more place, but for whatever reason, Ian just doesn't seem to have the outright speed this weekend. Ollie Fowler there has gone past Sharp as well, and now Wayne Flint up the inside, and that was another crucial move there for the Masters Championship contender, who, with David May's travails in this race, is now becoming really Mark Skeets' main rival in the championship, to be honest. Keith Towers hasn't had a brilliant weekend so far either, as we documented after that moment on the first lap, so it could now start to boil down to a Mark Skeets versus Wayne Flint Masters Championship contest. There is Keith Towers though, he's recovering well on the tail of Ian Jones there as we go into Cobb's Corner. On board now with Keith as he turns through that quick right-hander. Ahead of him, Paul Maguire has Ollie Fowler all over him. In fact, Ollie Fowler all over the runoff area out of Cobb's Corner. Might have left the door open possibly for a move on the inside. Keith Towers gesticulating to Ian Jones that they should work together here to try and side through the pack as one. Wayne Flint, meanwhile, back up the inside of Fowler, and they both got the inside of a wayward Paul Maguire, who unfortunately outbrakes himself and becomes not the first person and probably not the last person to trail across the grass there on the outside of Beckett's corner. That's provided a real shake of the order though now. Ian Jones has benefited from that, but Keith Towers is now alongside him going down into Brooklands Corner. David Sharp is in the mix as well, and Ollie Fowler, and Ian Jones, the title contender, can little afford this sort of battling really. As much as he'll be enjoying himself, no doubt, he would much rather be a bit further up the order, fighting for podiums and race victories once again, as he was so often earlier on this year. 6 times winner, remember, is Ian Jones. His most recent one coming at Anglesey last time out, but that was in the first race of the weekend. Then he had a second and a second again in the second and third races of the Anglesey meeting. So it was a decent points haul, but of course only the 1 victory, and Stephen Daly was able to bounce back brilliantly from his early weekend troubles to actually extend his championship lead over the course of the 3 races. So Stephen Daly has arrived here at Silverstone on top in points. That looks like it's a gap that's only going to grow here with Ian Jones's issues. For whatever reason, this mysterious lack of speed this weekend. We're on board again now though with Ian Jones as he closes in on Fowler and Flint in front of him. There's Keith Towers, who's got Matt Flowers behind him, the number 3 car, and David Sharp right in front of him, who goes a bit wide over the curb, and so looks as though Towers will get the run. Indeed he does. We can see this now from almost the driver's eye view, and Keith again waving at David saying, look, don't hold me up, let's just try and work together here. The slipstream is so significant here at Silverstone that if 2 cars do work together, they can be quicker than a big group of cars that are falling over each other, a bit like this group of cars that are falling over each other. Ian Jones trying desperately to get past Wayne Flint and Ollie Fowler. He almost completes the move there on Wayne Flint. He's going around the outside through Luffield now. I'm pretty sure that Wayne is still on the inside line. Leaves Ian Jones just enough room on the exit though. Jones now picks up the slipstream from Ollie Fowler's car in front, but then Fowler drifts over to the right-hand side of the road. and that sort of favours Wayne Flint instead. Absolutely together there, Ben Huntley as well, side by side with Matt Parks. That was for 4th position as they went into Copse Corner. Ian Jones, though, not able to get past Wayne Flint, so Jones just not able to make the electrifying grounder here that we kind of thought he might do. And is not going to help his championship aspirations. There's a chance, I suppose, this could become a drop score, but be the ideal situation still. He'd rather be up there scoring big points. Flowers there now with Mike Doble in front of him. Such is the nature of this midfield battle that every lap you've got a different person in front of you and probably a different person behind you as well. The position's not really staying the same for all that long. With Jones, and maybe that's giving us some sort of an idea as to why he's off the pace. The car in front of him there, Wayne Flint, pulling away in a straight line. Now, if you're down on straight line speed here at Silverstone, then you have had it. You're going to be nowhere near the front because it's such a horsepower circuit. You also have to make the apexes though. One car there very much not doing that, just behind the Towers and Doble scrap. With Jones though, so he carries good speed through the corners, but then let's watch this straight line speed again through Woodcote. Flint is definitely getting away. Maybe he had a better exit from the previous corner. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but it certainly looks as though Jones is down on power, down on straight line speed, and actually has Keith Towers catching him now behind. Keith having got the better of Mike Doble in the previous lap. Starting to close in on man that is 2nd place in the points. Tom Griffiths, I remind you, though, still leads the way. Now, Tom is 25 points off the championship lead coming into this weekend. That's on dropped scores anyway, which means that he is about 16 points behind Ian Jones for 2nd place in the championship. So if he can win this race and Jones doesn't trouble the top 10, then that will definitely narrow the margin there. Paul Maguire's off again, though, at Beckett's there, as he tries to go after Tim Scott Andrews, but Tim is getting away from him, much to the frustration, no doubt, of Paul. There's Matt Parks. That's Matt Parks into 4th position. He completed that manoeuvre that we saw him start a lap or so ago on Ben Huntley. He's now closing in on Rhys Claydon, looking for his first ever podium in the championship. Keith Towers here, understeering wide into Luffield, and that's why, because he had Ian Jones up the inside. So actually, Towers must have got past Ian on that previous lap, then Ian fought back again, but Towers with that better straight line speed, I think we'll be able to get back alongside again through Woodcote. Black and orange warning flags, by the way, being shown for a couple of drivers that are being brought into the pit lane, but Towers moving his way up the inside of Ian Jones here into Copse Corner. He's going to go through. Ian Jones, unfortunately, is in for a long afternoon, I think. If this is the best speed that he has, then he is going to struggle to score any big points from this meeting, and that could well spell disaster for his championship hopes. Through Beckett's again comes Matt Parks there in 4th position, definitely catching Rhys Claydon, but Rhys's teammate Stephen Daly is catching the race leader Tom Griffiths, so the gap at the front of the field is coming down, and the gap between 3rd and 4th likewise. This gap, though, you can see it there, is just going up and up and up as soon as we get onto a straight, and there are plenty of them here of decent length at Silverstone. There's just nothing Ian Jones can do to stay with the cars around him. So there goes Parks then, through Brooklands, through Luffield, back with Jones, who's having to absolutely monster the curbs and carry as much mid-corner speed as he can here to try and compete. He sees a gap at the inside of Keith Towers. This is more or less what happened a lap ago, I think, but this time Jones gets a bit sideways on the exit. He's so eager to get to the throttle there because he knows that even when he does, he won't be as quick in a straight line as the cars he's trying to race against, so he's a bit too eager on the right foot that time around and got very sideways. So too does Stephen Daly there. Look at Copse Corner, but despite his sideways antics, he is continuing to lap a bit quicker than Tom Griffiths. Tom now, of course, be giving a nice slipstream to the championship leader behind. Stephen Daly, that car looking absolutely resplendent now, isn't it, with some new wheels, and they've patched up the damage from the angle-see shunt quite nicely as well. So the KC Motorsport squad doing a fabulous job of preparing that car. Keith Towers is almost off again at Beckett. In fact, he is off again, and that's one way to overtake if your name is Ian Jones. Simply force the driver in front into a mistake that forces him off the road, and then drive through on the inside line. So Jones gains one more place, but that was fortuitous more than anything else. Can Stephen Daly gain another place now and really hammer this point home that he is going to extend this margin now over Ian Jones? He's already set to score 47 points for finishing in 2nd place. David May, though, on his recovery drive, has set the fastest lap, so Stephen Daly may not be able to get the bonus point for fastest lap, but still 47 nice juicy championship points will at the very least be going his way. He could even up that to 50 if he can take the race victory. First corner they go again. gap though now sort of stagnating, I think. He's caught Tom Griffiths, but now what can he do about him? These two have a bit of history, don't they, of producing some close finishes as well, with Griffiths coming out on top sometimes, Stephen Daly on other occasions being victorious. That's brilliant races though, and Tom Griffiths and Stephen Daly have lots of respect for each other. I think next season we'll be talking about those two fighting for a championship, but we may yet be talking about that in 2019 if Griffiths can keep on winning races like this, but they're sort of running out of races now. This is the penultimate meeting of the season, just 4 more races to go in the championship campaign, so Stephen Daly really just trying to bag the points here, but for people like Griffiths and Jones and Parks, race victories are the bare minimum requirement here. There's a big sideways moment there for Griffiths through Brooklands though, but there's no way through then at the next corner for Stephen Daly to go through. Look on board with Griffiths now. Coming out of the final corner then, or through the final corner, this flat out right-hander at Woodcote, but the final real corner is the right-hand hairpin at Luffield. Past the pits, past the grandstand, down to Cops Corner they go again. It's still virtually nothing in it. Behind them, by the way, it's getting very energetic for third place. I think Ben Huntley is back ahead of Matt Parks now, so Huntley doing his best here to try and get back on the podium. Here is Ian Jones. Now, what progress is he making? Well, none is the answer, but he might be about to make a move on Wayne Flint, who was skating a bit wide there through Cops Corner. Any mistakes through the corners, Ian Jones really has to try and capitalise on, and that's what he was trying to do there. Find out hopefully sooner or later whether or not he was able to complete that move. On board with him now, and well, Flint on the inside line into Beckett's is able to hang on temporarily, but then outbreaks himself, runs wide, and Jones will get alongside. Now, is he going to be able to complete it? Yes, he is. He goes over to the left-hand side of the road, telling us that he's cleared the Wayne Flint car. So Ian Jones up one more position then, inching towards that all-important top 10 now. In fact, he's in the top 10, but he wants to try and get as far into that top 10 as he can. Back with Keith Towers, who's gone at least 2 or 3 laps now without going onto the grass at Beckett's, and as a result is starting to have an idea of overtaking Mike Doble now, who is the man immediately in front of him. Through Luffield again, Towers heaps of understeer, look as he goes through that never-ending right-hander, but that I'm sure is a common problem. No car really wants to go through that corner particularly easily, it would seem, especially in these very warm conditions. The final lap of the race though, has Stephen Daly got anything for this man Tom Griffiths that we're right on board with, the only man in the field with a completely clear view in front of him. 15-minute race, not long enough for them to catch the back of the field, start lapping them either, so it's been a pretty lonely race for Griffiths, in front of him at least, but behind him he's had this ever constant pressure, certainly through the second half of the race, from the Scotsman Stephen Daly. Try and get a nice slipstream down the back straight if he can. Meanwhile, Ian Jones trying to gain one more place. This is for 6th position now. Not bad, actually, from 13th on the grid. Pulls up alongside Ollie Fowler now and actually gets a good exit from Beckett's. He might be able to complete that manoeuvre into Brooklands. I don't think, though, that Stephen Daly has any answer here for the pace of Tom Griffiths. Tom seems to have this one covered now. Through the right-hander at Luffield for the final time. As long as he gets a good exit from this corner, he should be safe for the run to the flag and for his second victory of 2019 now. Out of the final corner he comes. He may have started second on the grid, but he will finish one better. It is a second victory of 2019 for Tom Griffiths, and a significant one at that, but possibly an even more significant second place for Ian Jones, for Stephen Daly, excuse me, as far as his championship challenge is concerned. Rhys Claydon gets his first ever podium in third. Magnificent result for him, with Parks getting the better of Huntley for fourth. Then Fowler and Jones in that order, so Jones didn't get through, ahead of Wayne Flint, Keith Towers and Mike Doble in 10th position. Then it was Matt Flowers and Mark Skeets, Will Davison and Paul Maguire, with Mikey Doble to round out the top 15. David May, by the way, set the fastest lap, but did unfortunately pull into the pit lane to retire halfway through the race. And he isn't the only one either. There was a bit of a list of retirements, which we'll get to in a moment. Here they are. So we lost Stuart Wright, David May, James Stanbury, Simon Welch, Rudy McMillan, and John King, unfortunately, was a non-starter in the Fun Bikes car.
Tom, led from the start. He started second. You got to jump on David May from the start, and it was just such a professional performance from there.
Yeah, it was for once made a good start. Got in front of David into turn 1, and then from there on, thought I had the race controlled. Thought I'd sort of pulled a decent gap. Saw Stephen had got into second, and then some oil came out of the last 2 corners, and that, being the first car to get to it, just threw it wide open and allowed him to catch right up to the back of me.
So a bit of luck involved there, but you had to do the hard work to get the gap in the first place, and it also closes the gap in the championship as well, because Ian Jones was quite a way behind you. Yeah,
I'm not sure what happened to Ian, but it'll help a bit. We're a little bit behind Stephen and Ian on drop scores, so hopefully that's helped sort of catch that up a little bit.
We've got one more race to go. What are your thoughts going into that one?
We'll see what we can do, as
Same
always, hopefully. Starting from pole, so we'll see.
Well done.
Lovely, thanks very much.
Stephen, again, a masterful drive. Again, second place on the podium, starting from 6. You had to get through a lot of traffic and even a bump into second.
Yeah, first couple of corners on the first lap, everyone was so close. I felt a little nudge on the rear and that just boosted me straight into second, so I thought, that'll do. Quite happy with that. So at this point, on a track like this, so short, everyone's so close, it's about accumulating points. We're second place. What better could you do, really, from 6?
And 2 KC Motorsports cars on the podium.
Well, there you go. It can't be all me, can it?
You've got a good team behind you. You've got another race coming up. You're going to start second. Where can you go from there?
Well, we might be able to go for the win. Tom is very fast, in particular coming out the corners. So, I mean, that's where we're going to struggle a lot. We'll have to try. If I do get in front of Tom, it'll just be a case of trying to defend him and just try to stay in front.
Yeah, you just need to consolidate and get as many points as you can. Obviously, championship's closing in on you as well.
Yeah, I mean it's very close. Ian Jones, Tom Griffiths, they're all so close. They're actually ahead of me before drop rounds. After drop rounds, I'm ahead. So I mean, I've done myself good points today. If I can do that again, I'd be happy. If I can go one step further, there we go. I'll be happy with that too.
Well, you're always smiling anyway. So good luck and well done for this.
Thank you very much.
Well, Reece, firstly, congratulations. Your first ever podium. What a place to get it.
I mean, I didn't expect it, if I'm honest. Started 5th in qualifying. A couple of fast guys behind me. I expected them to come through. I got a wicked start. Just made progress from there, really.
Yeah, and I'm part of the KC Motorsport team, so you've got Stephen Daly as a mentor. That's not a bad person to have teaching you.
I mean, reigning champion, what can you ask for, really? He goes through my data with me, shows me the lines, shows me everything. He is really good.
Well, it's paying off, and obviously we've got another race coming up, starting 3rd there. What can you do from there, do you think?
I do want pole, but it'd be a bit awkward with Stephen, obviously, but just go for the win, I guess.
So you can do what you're racing driver. Every single person on the track wants to win. You came close this time, maybe a step further next time.
Yeah, I've got to say thanks to KC Motorsport for setting up the car. Also, Master Mix Concrete for making it possible, and my sponsors. They put all the money into the car to make it possible for me to come here and race.
Well, go and enjoy it, well done.
Lovely, thank you very much.
The second race of the BRSCC Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup is about to get underway here at Silverstone. Sun is still shining, track temperature's dropped a little bit, so there's not too much of an issue with the tyre degradation. The grid is how they finished the first race, so Tom Griffiths is on pole position. Next to him is Stephen Daly, he's just getting ready. Let's see if we can grab word of him just as he gets in his car. Stephen's he came from 6th to 2nd in the last race. Stephen, you're on the inside for the first corner. It's got to play into your hands, huh?
Yeah, well, we just got to see how it goes. It's so close because it's such a short circuit. Anything can happen. Any one of these guys behind me are capable of taking this win here. So just pump the laps in, see how it goes, and hopefully at the end of it we're going to be collecting our trophy.
Yeah. I know what your game plan is. Just get out in front as soon as you can and let everybody else scrap it out.
Well, that's it. Yep.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers. And just behind him on the grid is Matt Parks. Matt, how are you doing? Came out with a win at Anglesey, a pretty seamless win as well. You're just behind Stephen on the grid for this final race. What can you do from here?
We've got to try and go. I don't think we can realistically have the pace for the win because we bent the car on Friday, but we're just damage limitation again. So we give it a go.
Yeah, well, we all know you've got the skills to win. Here at Silverstone, it's difficult. You kind of want to be behind the group, but not too far behind because of the slipstream and just make you move in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, definitely. If you can, hang on to the end and then a last lap lunge. Stephen's speciality. May have to repay the favour if I get close enough. So, yeah, that's the only way you can do it, I think.
Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. 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 And next to him on the grid is Reece Claydon, who scored his first podium in the championship. It's his first season out racing as well. Reece, 3rd on the grid. Are you looking forward to this?
I'm nervous. So I can't tell you how nervous I am, but yeah, it's going to be fun. Just got to have some fun, see what I can do.
Yeah, that first podium must give you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it's boosted my confidence a lot. There's a lot of fast boys behind me, so we'll see what we can do this time.
And what Stephen said to you?
I can't tell you.
Good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, let's see how they all get on. Andy, over to you.
Well then, the result of this race will set us up for our finale at Donington in a few weeks' time. Here is how they started. It's the way in which they finished the previous race, so it's Griffiths and Daly row 1 with Reece Claydon and Matt Parks on the second row. Then Huntley and Ollie Fowler share row 3. Then Ian Jones, who must make progress in this one, with Wayne Flint on row 4, then Keith Towers and Mike Doble, Matt Flowers and Mark Skeets, with Will Davison and Paul Maguire just outside the top dozen. Then it's Mikey Doble and Luke Browse looking to go forward rather than backwards in this one. Then Tom Middleton and Martin Gadsby ahead of Gordon McMillan and Tom Langford to round out the top 20. Then Gareth Claydon, Jim Barrett, David Sharp and Nick Edmond on the 12th row. Danny Wilkinson and Andy Coombs are next ahead of Guy Davis and Lead Andy Sadler. Phil Sharp and Craig Arkell are on the 15th row of this mammoth 19-row grid. And here are the back few rows of that grid, including a couple of non-finishers from the previous race. Perhaps most significantly will be David May, who will start from 33rd on the grid for this one, having lost a position now in the Masters Championship. So 15 minutes of racing around the Silverstone National Circuit gets underway with Stephen Daly and Tom Griffiths sharing row number 1. Remember, in race 1, Griffiths came from second on the grid to lead into the first corner, and that is exactly what Stephen Daly will do in race number 2. So that inside line does seem to be the preferred groove here, or preferred starting position at the start of the races on both occasions now. The car that started second on the grid that has led into Cobb's Corner for the first time. Now with Ian Jones going into Maggots and Beckett's for the first time, but Griffiths is back through. Look, Tom Griffiths is back into the lead of the race now as they go through Beckett's for the first time of asking. So somewhere between Copps and Beckett's, the lead changed hands once again. On board with Keith Towers, that looks like Ian Jones in front of us. Wayne Flint there over to the right-hand side of the road, which tells us that Jones has lost ground already because Wayne Flint started one place behind him and appears to be back in front of him again now. Onto the brakes into Brooklands. Up the inside there goes Matt Parks into third ahead of Reece Claydon, and Ollie Fowler has had a good start as well. From 6th to 5th, one car out wide was Wayne Flint, I think, so Jones gets up the inside of him. Now sets his sights on some of the front runners from our early race then. Ben Huntley, the first of the drivers, in his sights. Ian Jones has now dropped, by my reckoning, to 13 points behind Stephen Daly. That 7th place finish did actually become a dropped score. He had not his best of his 3 drop scores, if you like, coming into this weekend was a 5th position, so he scored a couple of bonus points, if you like, from that one. He's now dropping 41 instead of 43 points, so that saved him a little bit, but he's still 13 points behind Daly, and with only 9 ahead of Tom Griffiths now, who's out there leading the race at the moment, looking for his first ever double race victory. Jones then Keith Towers in front, and so he's lost some ground again there through the first corner or so. But Tom Griffiths here leading the way, has Stephen Daly and Matt Parks now in tow. Matt Parks a little bit too far back now to be a genuine championship contender. In fact, he's probably a little unlikely to even break into the top 3, but he can still go out there and try and add to his win tally, and that's exactly what he's trying to do here. Running in 3rd place at the moment. Ollie Fowler there at the inside of Reece Claydon takes 4th position away at Brooklands. So the yellow and black machine of Ollie Fowler up one more position. Jones, though, falling down the order once again. Both Towers and Flint have gone through on this lap, and now those two are starting to battle in front. They are separated by only about 13 points in the Masters Championship as well. Wayne Flint has moved ahead of Mark Skeets now in the Masters title race, by the way, to the tune of about 3 or 4 points, I reckon. And Wayne Flint's fairly disappointing first race of the day, I think it's fair to say. Sorry, Mark Skeets fairly disappointing 12th place in race number 1. Wayne Flint, of course, was up there inside the top 10, which was a good points haul for him. He's out of Cobb's Corner, Ian Jones out of Cobb's Corner, way wide over the curves, but he has to carry as much corner speed as he can, because he just can't maintain that speed then down the following straight. Fowler there defending the inside from Reece Claydon, who's just dropped a position or 2 at the start of this race, but he's going to try and fight back here, gets a better exit from Beckett's corner, and looks to try and pull alongside Fowler down the Wellington Straight underneath the circuit access bridge. On board again with Jones, trying to use the slipstream, using every trick in the book. He's going to hope now that Wayne Flint and Keith Towers start to delay each other in their private battle in front of him, which looks to be what's going on at the moment. They're side by side, I think they're about to winter shot side by side, and Flint on the inside line there will gain the position ahead of Towers. On board with Jones then, he's now got the red and white of Keith Towers in front of him to try and get past Keith. His 3rd Masters Championship then. Wayne Flint leading the Masters Championship, so they're having their own battle, and a very significant battle it is, but they've got one of the overall championship contenders behind, so it's a tricky situation for those two to be in. But really, all they can do is focus on their own races, and then if Jones is coming through, then he'll come through, and he has to make his own arrangements, but he can't be moving out of his way just because he's ahead of them in the overall title race. Remarkable just how close this Masters competition has been now coming into the final part of the season, and still any one of 4 drivers can legitimately lift the crown at the end of the year. Meanwhile, 3rd place battle starting to develop now as Matt Parks has fallen back into the clutches rather of Ollie Fowler and Reece Claydon. Then Huntley, Towers, Flint and Jones. So that's now freeing up Stephen Daly to go after Tom Griffiths again. And just as in race number 1, after a couple of laps, Daly does look to be the quicker of the two. He's closed right now onto the tail of the race leader as they go down into Brooklands for the next time. Parks there defending from Fowler as well. It's a reasonably easy circuit to overtake at, but that also means it's actually fairly easy to defend at because you know where the obvious overtaking opportunities are. Into Beckett's, into Brooklands, for example. You can't run wide here through Luffield because that opens the door on the inside. So if you don't make those mistakes and leave those doors open, then it's reasonably easy to keep a car behind you unless they are significantly quicker than you. I don't think Daly is significantly quicker than the race leader, though. He's able to go with Griffiths, but not lap big chunks of time quicker than him. Parks and Fowler rather trip over each other into Cobb's corner, and so Clayton gets up the inside. Reece Clayton might be about to go back into fourth position here. I think he will because he has a better exit from Cobb's corner and he has the inside line for Beckett's corner, the next right-hander. Jones, meanwhile, with a real run around the outside of Wayne Flint. Lock up from the race leader. Wing mirror bashing there between Fowler and Clayton. Clayton, I think he's going to go through on the inside again here. He'd love a double podium. That was his first ever podium and therefore, of course, his best ever finish in the championship. Admittedly, this only his first season, but when you consider that Reece Clayton at the start of the season, well, his very first race at Brands Hatch, he was 17th, and that was a split grid as well, so that wasn't even up against the full quota of Compact Cup competitors, and yet he didn't even break into the top 15. Here, though, is a battle for the race lead. Stephen Daly has forced a little mistake there out of the race leader, Tom Griffiths, and this is all starting to kick off behind now. Keith Towers, look, trying to take advantage of the Parks, Clayton and Huntley scrap, getting a little bit feisty there, and gets up the inside of Huntley. Clayton then has dropped into, or is still in fourth position then, having got past Huntley, but now Keith Towers trying to follow him through. Then it's Jones back ahead of Wayne Flint for the time being. Griffiths has held on to the race lead. We don't know where to look in this race. There are so many pockets of activity and all of them significant for one reason or another. This, of course, has championship implications. This battle also sort of has championship implications in that Ian Jones is trying to be part of it, but also includes some of our frontrunners in the Masters Championship. So these are all important scraps that are going on, but we only have one set of eyes, so we can only focus on one thing at a time. There go the leading two. No change there then out of Beckett's corner. With Ian Jones now. Now that looks like Ben Huntley in front of us, which means that Keith Towers has gone past Huntley. Yes, he has. And Towers is actually now starting to apply the pressure to Matt Parks, who has fallen behind Ollie Fowler. So Fowler into third place now. Then it's Clayton, in fact. Then it's Parks, then Clayton. So it's actually Reece Clayton that Towers is trying to get past next. But they're all... Oh, and off goes Reece Clayton. Reece Clayton, what a shame. He's thrown it all away at Brooklands corner. I can't see any witness marks on the back of the car, so we have to assume that was self-inflicted, but we'll await confirmation of that because they were so close together. It is entirely possible there was a bit of contact, but either way, Reece Clayton dropped well out of contention now. That's such a shame on what was a standout day for Reece, and a day in which he's been able to really prove that he belongs on this grid and he belongs at the sharp end of it. And sadly, it will end with not a brilliant finish in the second race. He should be able to gain score positions before the flag, but how many awaits to be seen. Ian Jones enjoying seeing that happening in front of him though, because it's one more place that he's gained, but it's going to be not enough at this rate because Stephen Daly, already extending this championship lead, is now in second place again to try and maybe take the race victory if at all possible. Out onto the Wellington straight goes Ian Jones and just demoralisingly watches them all race away from him in a straight line. But we know that he lacks no commitment, does Ian Jones, so as soon as they get to the braking zone of Brooklands, he'll be right back with them again, I'm sure. Stephen Daly trying to force another of these mistakes out of Tom Griffiths if he can. Tom had that little moment of Brooklands a lap or so ago, but no repeat on this occasion. Ian Jones now trying to go around the outside of Luffield corner. This is Ben Huntley that he's racing with, remember. There's Ben on the right-hand side of our shot. Leaves Ian just about enough room, and actually Ian gets a good exit from the corner. Nothing wrong with the traction of this car, and actually if he gets a really good exit and a bit of side drafting, he can actually out-drag Huntley here. They're wheel-to-wheel into Cobb's corner. Brilliant shot there of Ian Jones, hard at work at the wheel of the number 59 car. Turns through Cobbs, but that outside line leaves the door open for Wayne Flint on the inside, and so from attack to defence now for Jones. He fends off Flint, but that means that he has to let Huntley go for the time being. So Ben Huntley retains that position, the 6th position that they are fighting over. this is all becoming one big long line of cars fighting over third place, really, because Ollie Fowler may have got into third, but he's not anymore, actually. He's made a mistake at Beckett's and has fallen behind almost everyone in that group. So through into third now goes Matt Parks. Keith Towers, remarkably, is into fourth, and Ian Jones is trying to come through into fifth position. This is all of a sudden starting to drop into Ian Jones's lap here. Goes to the outside into Brooklands. He's desperately late on the brakes, and as long as he gets the car stopped, which he does, then that will be a very, very nice move into the top five, and he could yet get a podium out of this as well, because he's right away latched onto the rear bumper of this man, Keith Towers, who's done exactly the same thing to Matt Parks in front of him. Matt still just drifts a little bit wide there through Luffield, and Towers tries to get in the slipstream now through Woodcote Corner and out along the pit straight, evenly matched in a straight line, those two. There go Griffiths and Daly, meanwhile. They're still about a car length or so apart, but no change in the order. It's Parks, Towers and remarkably Ian Jones fighting over the final spot on the podium, then Huntley, then Fowler, then Flint. So Ollie Fowler, well, he was a bit wide at Cobb's Corner, so he probably won't keep Wayne Flint behind him for much longer, so he'll lose another place, but didn't actually lose as many as I thought he was going to at first, so may well be able to get back into this fight again before the checkered flag. This is a fantastic race, though. This is what the Compact Cup is all about. Close, clean, firm but fair racing, and we saw a little bit too much contact at Anglesey, maybe for one or two people's likings. This weekend at Silverstone, generally speaking, I think the driving standards have been exemplary, certainly at the front of the field, and it's produced some sensational racing. Ian Jones wants to try and pull off another sensational overtake here around the outside of Keith Towers, and that might just work because the next two corners, well, the next three corners actually, are right-handers, and he's got the inside line for the first of those at Luffield, and that was an absolute peach of a move there from Ian Jones. Can he finish the job on the exit of the corner? Yes, he can, and Towers needs to be careful. He's in the gravel there, and he's going to lose momentum onto the pit straight. He can lose even more places, and he will. Huntley up the inside of him now. Ben Huntley will go through, and Keith Towers losing places and losing points that he can't really afford to lose as far as his Masters Championship campaign is concerned. Thankfully, there's a bit of a gap behind Huntley to the next group, and so only the 2 places lost there. Ian Jones, a man on an absolute mission now, tries to drive around the outside there of Matt Parks through Cobb's Corner. That doesn't work, surprisingly. Parks just dabbing on the brakes, just checking that the brake discs haven't been knocked off the disc, but Ian Jones certainly not running through any braking issues. He's up the inside again through Beckett's, and can't quite get through on the exit of the corner, but that was he was signalling his intent there, wasn't he, that might be where he has a go. But now he's got to fight a rearguard action because the inside line into Beckett's means that he's even slower than usual onto the Wellington Straight, and so Ben Huntley gets back alongside, but Jones is just so good on the brakes, always has been good on the brakes, Ian Jones, and he's really having to rely on that ability this weekend, more than perhaps ever before, just to try and compensate for this mysterious lack of power. Out of Luffield, in behind Matt Parks. Now, can he get himself onto the podium here? Looks for a good exit from the right-hander through Woodcote Corner. And Stephen Daly then across the start-finish line, still behind Tom Griffiths, but he'll be keeping one eye, I think, now to this battle in the mirrors, if you can see it, which he probably just about can. If he sees Ian Jones appear in third place, that might just spur him on to have another big go at getting past Tom Griffiths, in front of him. Keith Towers, grandstand view of the Huntley and Jones scrap. Once again is side by side now, going into Maggots and Beckett's. Jones on the outside, Huntley on the inside. Jones is going to have to be really late on the brakes again here, and he's not late enough. Huntley's back through, and this could open the floodgates because Keith Towers is close enough behind now that he might be able to take advantage of this. Huntley moves into fourth place then, and Jones now needs to try and be careful not to lose any more places. He could still get a podium out of this race, but the last thing he needs is to start falling back down the field again. Into the braking zone, Towers is alongside, but Jones has the inside line for the left-hander. Can't sail in quite as late on the brakes as he'd like though, because Huntley is right in front of him. Just want to run into the back of him. Through Luffield now, onto the pit straight once again. Ian Jones in behind 2 cars in front of him. And Matt Parks with Ben Huntley as the 2 sort of dark greeny coloured cars. Still absolutely together, but it is Parks still third. Onto another lap go Griffiths and Daly, and the gap's gone out slightly on this occasion, so Tom Griffiths is not feeling the pressure quite as he was a lap or 2 ago from the Scotsman behind. So it's good now for this double race victory maybe for Tom Griffiths. Jones, though, is where most of the attention is centred here, as he tries now to regain lost ground that he's lost over the last lap or so. We're hoping the cars in front start to mess up each other's timing, mess up each other's rhythm from some of the more technical parts of the circuit, which they are doing, because Huntley and Parks are side by side, and Ben Huntley goes round the outside at Beckett's corner and finds a gap down the left-hand side of the road into the Wellington straight. Now, this might actually play into the hands of Ian Jones. If he goes to the outside of both of them, they could be so preoccupied with each other that they don't see him coming. Leaders through Brooklands then, but what's going on for third? Who will appear in third place? All three of them together probably, and there they go! And Matt Parks is sideways, saves the car, but loses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions, maybe more. And Ian Jones is side by side now with Ben Huntley for third position. Huntley on the inside line, Jones on the outside line, absolutely inches between them. They may even be trading a bit of paint as they lean on each other out of the corner. Ian Jones out of Luffield, trying his best here to get into the podium spots. We're on to the final lap of the race now, though. The leaders are a bit closer together, but all of the action is going on behind them. Can Ian Jones get himself back onto the podium? No, he can't. Huntley's got the inside at Cop's corner, and Jones needs to be careful because Keith Towers is close enough to take advantage if this all goes wrong. Out over the rumble strip, Jones has a good exit from Cop's, actually. Takes a look to the right-hand side, sees that he's pulling back alongside, and back ahead indeed of Ben Huntley. Brake lights come on pretty much simultaneously into Beckett's corner, and Keith Towers could gain 2 places in one here because they both drift out a bit wide in front of him. This has been almost a whole lap side by side between Ben Huntley and Ian Jones. Fantastic racing here onto the Wellington straight for the final time, and still they are absolutely neck and neck. Ian Jones and Ben Huntley getting very familiar with each other on this final couple of laps of the race. Tom Griffiths, though, turns through Brooklands for the final time. Stephen Daly has closed back in and has a look there to the inside into Luffield corner. Ian Jones, though, I think has gone into third place. Yes, he's done it. Ian Jones is ahead of Ben Huntley, remarkably, on the final lap of the race. They could be some crucial championship points for him. The leaders come towards the start-finish line, though, and I think they are side by side. They are. Stephen Daly's got to run on Tom Griffiths to the checkered flag. It's going to be a photo finish, and just Stephen Daly will get it by 35 one-thousandths of a second. Stephen Daly is a 6-time winner in the 2019 championship. Tom Griffiths comes home a very close run second, with Ian Jones remarkably on the podium. Fowler is fourth with Huntley in fifth. David May, by the way, from the back of the grid got to 11th and again set the fastest lap. That could be significant in his Masters Championship chase. But what a race that was, and what a run to the flag there for Stephen Daly. He got to the inside through Luffield, completed the drag race then to the line, and just by a nose got there before his sparring partner, Tom Griffiths. Rudy McMillan and David Sharp are 2 non-finishers, whilst Jim Barrett and John King were unfortunately disqualified from the race. This is how it stands then on outright points. Tom Griffiths leads the way with Jones second and Daly third. In actual fact, though, Daly will be getting on for about a 17-point cushion now over Ian Jones, going to the final round of the year.
Stephen, firstly, was that move planned?
Oh, not at all, not at all. I was actually giving up hope going across the line. Tom had about 2 car lengths on me. I thought he's got in the bag. All he needs to do is stay very clean. But I've been in that position before where I thought just need to stay clean for the last lap, and that is the most crucial lap. Just made a little mistake going on to the right hander, going on to the back straight, and it let me get a run. And then there was a do or die move at the end, which kind of paid off. No contact, very, very clean racing with Tom. Job done.
Yeah, so Tom's had some pace this weekend. He's done really well. You've kept up with him in that race. It's just those little mistakes. That's why you're a champion.
Yeah, I mean, even I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes under pressure. It's just about where you're positioned at the time when you're trying. I would rather pressure people than be pressured. So, for most of that race, just followed Tom. I made a complete mess of it with 2 laps to go. Thought I was out there running for it, but it just thankfully came.
Yeah. And full credit to you as well, and Reese this weekend, and the whole KC Motorsport team. Yeah,
KC Motorsport team have been fantastic. Put a more than capable car out there for me. And look what it does, it goes and wins races. So, I mean, if anybody's looking for cars for 2020, please contact KC Motorsport, there's cars available.
Brilliant. One meeting left, and then you'll be triple champion.
Well, let's get to the next round first. We'll take it from there. As I said earlier on, these 2 guys, if anybody on this podium deserves to be champion, it's these 2 guys. They push hard for it, they push me hard for it, and I'm happy to be part of the grid, to be honest.
Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Tom, flawless drive until that last lap, that last corner. 0.003 of a second he took you by.
Yeah, I'm gutted. He pressured well all the way through the race. I finally got to the point where I thought I just made a little gap over the last 2 laps, and then just made a couple of little mistakes in the last 2 corners. And when you got someone like him behind you, that's enough. And he just got me coming up to the line. That was that.
Well, he says he didn't plan it, but it looked to me like it was planned.
Yeah, I did wonder. You know, it looked like I say, I thought I'd got it in the bag, but it's never over till it's over in this.
No, and it's been a fantastic season so far. We've got 3 races left, and potentially still in for a shout for the championship.
Yeah, I think we're still in there. This weekend's helped that a little bit. On drop scores, we've got a little bit to catch them too, but I think it's probably between those two at Donington, but we'll do the best we can.
Well, we'll see, but for now, go and enjoy. Well done.
Lovely, thanks very much.
Ian Jones, what a drive. 7th to 3rd. It wasn't easy in the slightest, was it?
Oh, that was probably one of the most fun races I've ever had. There was a huge gaggle. I couldn't have cared if I was 8th or 3rd. Everybody had to work really hard for that, and just lucky the gaggle in front started battling, doors opened, and made the car fit, basically.
You're swapping places every lap. You're in 3rd, and then you're down in 5th, then 4th. Matt Parks got pushed all the way out of it.
Oh, did he? Yeah. I don't know. On the last lap, he was on, I think he was very outside, and it all just went peak tong. I looked in the mirror and he was sideways, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a race.
Yeah. Finishing 9th overall out of 37 car grid isn't bad at all, but that means you're the winner of the Masters this weekend. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think I've had a bit of good fortune today because we wasn't on the pace, but a bit of bad luck for the other drivers, but still happy to take it. Just feel sorry for them, really. They tried really hard and just had bad luck. But points come as they are. Yeah. I'm happy. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, David May was really happy with putting on pole this morning. He actually got the fastest lap in that race as well.
Absolutely flying. I was nowhere near them, so to get where I am today, I'm pretty pleased. But they should have had it. I was off the pace all week.
Well, you can go on smiling, can't you?
Lovely. Thanks.